Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Wow. Interesting week. The S&P was flat on the week, which is surprising, but the underlying internals, namely small caps, got crucified again. Um, while the three buy recommendations that I currently have before I did MJ, the cannabis ETF, all had up weeks, but cannabis being a small cap ETF did not and got hit pretty hard. So, as I mentioned when I left, I was traveling. When I made the recommendation, I'd be traveling last week and I was unable to comment, but I'll show you what transpired. I'll show you why we're out. We got stopped out at 28. So let's get into it. As more and more patterns are breaking down, by the way, um, you know, uh, the big question is this the beginning of a big downturn? And while seasonality suggests that it isn't, there are definitely signs that the market is showing some weakness, but we'll take it a day at a time. We'll try to get short when we can on the broader market and still look for buy recommendations that will work regardless of what happens in the overall market. So MJ was not one of those. So this is the chart going back a couple of weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, and you can see we had this is a weekly chart. So each one of these bars represents a week of price action, and we had our big five legs down, five waves down, and we had an ABC correction. And so um, we had a negative divergence up here at the top, and we had a bullish rainbow convergence, and that means that prices were above the convergence of all the moving averages. And so either prices could sit here, a type 1 convergence, until the moving averages come up and test that, or they could pull back to that convergence. Um, that would be a type 2 convergence. And if it held, it would promise a new high. So that's what I communicated a few weeks ago. And that's what we got after that. We got a pullback to right to the convergence a week ago, right here. And that's where we tried to buy because our reward to risk was the most favorable. If it closed below this rainbow convergence, we get out. If it holds, it goes to new highs over 43, and that would have been a big, big move from 29.90, but it didn't happen. You can see we clearly closed below that convergence. And if we take a look at the daily chart, we can see more of the day-to-day stuff. And so um, when I purchased this was on this day actually at 29.90 on a shorter term basis on the daily chart. So on the weekly chart, we had come down and we're sitting right on top of a bullish rainbow convergence. On the daily chart, we had just the opposite. We had all the moving averages coming down overhead. And when I purchased this, I said, if it can't, I'm expecting a um, a rally back to this convergence at 33 or so. If it can't break through, if it's going to promise a new lower low, at which point I would get out. If it can break above that, then the longer term scenario would have been in place, and a $43 price projection or higher would have been in the cards. So this was on the 7th when I initiated with the buy rating. And what did we get? We got a retracement back to that. It actually broke above intraday but couldn't hold. I was traveling. I had no webcam. I had no chance to tell people. Our stop was 28 the whole time, and we broke that clearly on Friday. And so we got stopped out at 20 for the official record, 26.11, which is a 13% loss. Ouch. But given the fact that we had had three trades previously for a total gain of 76%, yeah, it's still not the way I wanted it to end, especially when I saw this, but I couldn't communicate it. So the moral of that story is don't give buy recommendations if you're not going to be around to monitor that day to day. The point and figure chart, which is, always the go-to for me, meaning that, I want to see a bullish trend line on, 99% of the recommendations I make, and then bullish patterns on top of that. Well, we have the opposite now with the breakdown. I just wanted to show you the point and figure chart is hanging on by a hair. So if that's down any amount on Monday, even intraday, we will have a new bearish trend line, and that would be another reason why I wouldn't want to be involved in this. So, not a good trade. Thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, neighbors, and family. I will be doing an update on my three buy recommendations that had a good week relative to the market. And also looking at the overall marking, whether to go short again. We're right back to where I turn neutral, and we'll see. I got to do a lot more work on that. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and adios.